You are watching, listening, hearing media on all of our channels. What's that noise, bro?
Oh, I did.
Okay. Sorry about that, but that's what happens when I'm here in Southern California. That guy out there
Hi everyone, I'm Philippa de Herida, and I'm in the UK, Essex.
he's in Essex, so we're
Essex.
we're
Essex, mate.
a few time zones away. But this is going to work to our advantage because today Felipe and I have the distinct pleasure of being probably some of the only two non-Kiwis to taste and dissect this. It's called Tequila. Okay, so what's the story behind this? The story is that in my writing for the Agave Spirits Around the World uh, issues that we were putting up on Tequila Aficionado magazine, we were talking about agave spirits made all over the world, and people are not aware that you're getting agave spirits from New Zealand. Okay, now again, they make, as every country knows that makes an agave spirit, they can't call it tequila. Tequila is owned by, of course, the Mexican government. It is a trademark, but that's okay. That doesn't mean the plant doesn't grow everywhere. And if you've missed our series of agave spirits around the world, you can get back issues of Tequila Aficionado magazine, or you can just order the brand new book. And by the time this comes out, this review, it may be late June or late July. The book will have been in circulation on Amazon, but you can look for it now. In any case, I want to first of all thank Kiwi Spirits Distillery for making this happen. Terry Knight and Isabella, Terry's daughter, who handles all the business aspect of the company, made these happen for us. They moved heaven and earth to get these samples. Now, Felipe did some footwork on the distillery. How much is this sample worth, bro? What?
Well, this is going, bear in mind there's no information much on export, but New Zealand dollars, it's 45 a sample, which is 32 US and 22 British pounds sterling, just for the sample, which is what, 30 mil, I think.
Yep.
Yeah, 30 mil.
Yep.
But the bottle.
Yeah, I do too. I think these are very clever. And it's signed by Terry Knight, who's the master distiller and the owner of Kiwi Spirits Distillery. We'll give you more of the ins and outs and the stories later. We're going to do what we're going to do always is we're going to pour it in our glassware. We're going to taste it. I have been so tempted to pop this before we go on camera. We didn't do it. We didn't do it till just now, breaking the seal. Okay. So, okay. Let's pour it. I'm using my Stossel Jarrito for tequila, and today for tequila. I want to make sure I don't pour any of it on my computer, because that would be bad. Wait a minute. I got some on my hands, so here we go. Okay, I'm not getting enough of it. That's okay. I thought I had enough in here. Usually you got to really pour a swallow in your hand and then cup your hand. I snorting the bottle smells very familiar to me. So what do we got? I know our lighting right now in here is not the greatest, but we're going to look at Legs and Tears. We're going to...
That is pretty clear, isn't it?
Yeah. What did you find out about the water that they have that's running underneath the distillery?
The water comes from Poo Springs? I can't, that's the abbreviated name. Which is apparently second in the world for water clarity. So it comes from the ice from the mountains. And it's one of the cleanest water, freshwater springs in the world. So
how would you like to have that running under your distillery, man? Wow. It is pristine. Ooh. It's beautiful. it hasn't opened up for me yet, so I'm not too sure yet. You're using this Stossel for mezcal, so it's got a wider mouth. I may have to pour some more in here. I'm not getting any alcohol, that's for sure. I think
No.
it's 80 proof though, isn't it?
40 ABV.
Yep.
I don't know how that works out.
That's 80 proof.
That's 80, isn't it?
It's rather fruity. I'm getting like notes of fruit, and then now I'm getting a little bit of alcohol way at the bottom.
Yeah, I think there's a bit of grass in there. Maybe a herb, but
We have not popped the corks to seals on these at all. It's been at room temp with my samples, maybe about a couple of weeks. I know Felipe's had his longer.
mine have been in the office just waiting. Every morning I sit down.
No, should I open it? Yeah. I know. I've been tempted because this is really, folks, outside of New Zealand and maybe parts of Australia, nobody's had this. So it's us. Tequila Aficionado has done it again. And okay, I'm not getting a whole lot of nose. And it's not opening. So that's good. Number one, it's not unpleasant.
How much did you pour?
I'm gonna pour some more.
Oh, I threw the whole sample in.
Oh, did you? Okay.
Yeah.
Usually these glasses don't need a whole lot.
No, but I do.
Well, yeah, so do I. Let's see. And I got to let it open up a little bit. And while we do that, I will tell you that these are blue agave. And there's an interesting story behind how Terry and I acquired these seedlings. Some of the articles that I found say seeds, which you can grow from seeds. I'm going to assume that that's what that means, other than seedlings. But these were acquired. The original seeds were acquired from a private collection in Paris, which is kind of odd. I'm getting more fruit. It's a light fruitiness, like a tropical fruit. And just barely minimal alcohol.
It's very distinct to itself, isn't it? I can't think of another that would smell like this.
Well, New Zealand is known for they have several different types of fruit that we don't get here, besides kiwi, of course. But they have other kinds of fruit that they grow. In fact, on this gentleman's distillery, on Terry Knight's distillery, who's the owner of Kiwi Spirits, they have fruit trees and they make liqueurs from the fresh fruit that they have on the property, on the farm. So
it's almost like what's springing to mind is like not. It sounds like a daft thing, but like you get fresh air, but almost like sea air.
Yeah,
very opens it up. It's almost like it's not salty, but it has that same kind of effect.
Well, now the distillery, if you know what New Zealand looks like, it's two separate islands. You have a North Island and a South Island, and Kiwi Spirits is located on the north tip of the South Island, but it's in a really great location because it does have ocean air. It's not as arid as some parts of Australia are, although I think New Zealand does have some arid areas. They have wine regions as well, so it's kind of like a perfect storm for him, and it does. I think that area of New Zealand does get some flooding. I'm sure, pretty sure that Australia does, but New Zealand, that I think what happens is because of the nature of the geography, it lends itself to separate microclimates like it does in Mexico.
Yeah.
Or even in wine. And so you're right. This smells very fresh. But
I'm almost getting a menthol. The more I do this, it's almost a menthol coming through. But
we're still nosing it, folks. We're still letting it try to open up for us, okay? Because this is the first time that anyone, like I said, myself included, has really had this outside of New Zealand. So it does remind me of some of the on the cleaner tequilas I've had from a Totonilco. The nose does. Although this is not there, I was expecting more citrus, but I'm getting more like tropical fruit. I'm getting more of a fruitiness on the nose, and not like guava, and not like none of that.
There's virtually no alcohol.
Yeah, you have to really dig for it, and it's very faint. You know what? We need to try. We got to taste it. Let's just dive in. Okay, shall we? Yeah. Cheers.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah. Wow. Now, at first pass, and as I let it hold here, minimal pepperiness. You're not getting the pepper or spice that we're used to in some tequilas or mezcals. It's very gentle on the palate. On the retronasal, though, I get a little bit more earthiness than what I got on the nose. Everything about this spirit is very light.
I don't get any agave.
Well, what happens is this, okay?
Very little, if any.
Well, I was getting it. I could sense it. But what I'm getting is the terroir of New Zealand. They let the plants grow for 7 to 8 years. Okay, Terry Knight's next harvest is in 2 years. Okay, in 2024. He's doing it old school. As a matter of fact, I think you wrote on your Instagram that one of the few things that Knight did was to try to stress the plants. In other words, give them less nutrients, and that would make it more flavorful. It would make it work for its flavor. And what did he do with the topsoil? I've never heard this before.
Scrapes it off.
He scraped it off.
The land was too fertile.
Yeah. So you've got the combination of the one you have a different terroir. He's virtually the only one that has his own farm. First of all, he's the only one growing it in all of New Zealand. And so what I got, I could sense agave, but I think what we're tasting the influences of the soil and the water, plus the hand of the maker, of course. This is almost.
It's like I've got the menthol, I've got the nice bit that you get with that, and then it sort of like just melts out into some fruit. But there's nothing like if I was to blind test that, I'd be like I don't know. I'm lost for words.
Well, yeah. I mean, I can see where
it's lovely though.
Wait.
Detriment. It is really, really good.
It's got a medium to short finish. Okay, I mean, it doesn't have that warm fuzzy going down. But yeah, this is this is an easy sipper, and because he makes several other liquors, obviously it lends itself to cocktails. But I would spend some time with it. I don't even know if I had a bigger sample if it would open up some more. Maybe this is one of those things that it takes a while for it to bloom.
Yeah.
But it's well done, and yes, I'm getting that fruit, but it's a tropical fruit that I can't place. It's maybe akin to a peach, and nothing, a ripe fruit.
Mm-hmm.
But a tree fruit of some sort that I may not be familiar with.
It's incredibly clean as well, isn't it?
Yeah. wow, this is like the cleanest. There are vodkas that don't come this clean. There are gins that don't taste like this. And
How'd
yet,
you find? Come, sorry.
I got, I got a little bit of the retronasal. I could get a little bit of the earthiness. I could get more of the plant, but even that was not as pronounced. If you hear me clearing my throat, what I'm doing is I'm trying to get the scent up my nasal passages to see if there's something I'm getting that I'm not missing, that I'm missing on my taste buds. Because 70 to 80% of your taste buds is in the smell, and if you can master that technique, it's just like clearing your throat, only with your mouth a little wider and shut, so you don't lose the sample. You get the gas molecules come back up through the rear of the nasal passages, and you like re-smell it again.
I was going to say, how'd you find the finish?
Short to medium. Short to medium. It's not a long finish. At least I'm not getting it. But I'm going to try it again.
My first impression is that the finish is dry, but then it's almost like I'm salivating afterwards.
Okay. Now on second pass, I will say that I have to. I don't normally do retronasal that heavily. I don't have to because But I think that the terroir of where this is planted, where the plants are coming from, is so rich that it kind of the character of the tequila is or the character from the plant isn't muted, but it's not as pronounced as it would be from like say South Africa or even from Australia, in more arid places. He doesn't live in an arid place. His plants are not in an arid location. So when I do that, though, when I clear it heavily, when I do that retronasal more heavily, I get more of the Highlands notes that I normally get on Highlands tequila, like Totonilco, not Arandas, not Amatitan. There's no mineral quality to it. And that's how clean this water is. This water, the mountains, what happens is there are rivers, underground rivers that flow from the runoff of the mountains. And these rivers are like prehistoric. They've been there for like ever, right? So they are filtered through limestone. And when you do that, this is what you come up with. So you have a fertile plant that probably hasn't been as stressed as maybe he would like. Yet I'm getting Highlands wood notes. I'm getting some Highlands agave on it. And the plant is there. I'm getting it. I could recognize it, but it would take you 2 or 3 passes before.
It's incredibly delicate, isn't it? It really shows the difference in the land. It's just the agave's had more chance to flourish, and it's clearly not stressed as much. Whereas everything before is like, I'm here. This is just like.
Yeah, you and I have had this year. This is the most Felipe has been on camera with us lately. Right now, this is May, like almost mid-May, and a lot of our previous videos from April are already running. They're streaming on YouTube with Felipe, and you and I have had some really great different varieties of Mexican spirits that some of them are only available in the UK, and so we're used to that oomph that you get, that terroir. But this one you have to spend time with it. For those of you who are seasoned agave spirit lovers, this is gentle. It's clean, but it's not vodka and it's not diffuser. That's what I'm going to tell you, because
it's empty.
It has character. This has a character. You have to dive in. I guess the clear water situation would be similar to what you see in the Yucatan, where they have these cenotes. They have these these water holes, where the water is clear and clean. And I think Ishkaret is one of the. It's a preserve reserve where you have a lot of these underground water holes, and you can see all the way down to the bottom. Of course, it's a big tourist attraction now in Mexico. This is not a tourist attraction. There's nobody swimming in these waters. I like your description of sea breeze. It's got sea breeze. I like that. I do. I like it a lot. But he said it wasn't salty. It's freshwater sea breeze, so it's like it's coming off a lake or something.
Yeah, I like it. It's great. It's really delicate. It's definitely where you got to pick your time to have that.
Yeah, not a cigar or anything like that. It's not, but it is fruit forward. So I would say if you're gonna mix it in a cocktail, you would mix it with something tropical. I think it would do really well. It might even do really well in some tiki drinks. For those of you who like to deal in the tiki culture, be careful with that, because that's also, some places are considering that cultural appropriation. But tiki in the United States, I know, tiki in the United States has a long history, of a bar culture. I gotta take this one more time. I know you've been through yours, but you got another bottle that you may or may not. Yeah.
Maybe not yet.
Yeah. Every pass is different. It opens up a little bit more. Finish is still medium to short, so don't expect alarm, warm, fuzzy.
No.
I think, you know what? This is a perfect example of what can be accomplished when you let blue agave grow in other locations, and how it adapts. It's the adaptability of the plant. How this plant has adapted to a rich, fertile area, and yet can still adapt to the arid areas of like Australia, or of course Mexico, and all those other and other strains of the plant, other varieties of the plant. I this year alone I've had raicias that nobody's had yet. You and I had posh, made from corn. The only thing I've been dying to get some Henneken, which is made from Cisalana, and that is found in the Yucatan. It is available for sale. I just can't get anyone to send me any samples yet. But when that happens, you're my guy. You know what?
Please.
Yes. I can tell you that there's no possible way we would not nominate this as a Brand of Promise nominee in the special the special blue agave spirit category from New Zealand. I think it's a perfect example of what's available when you let the plant do what it's supposed to do anywhere in the world. It will grow.
It makes you want to check out anywhere else, like you say, with like India and South Africa, how that's going to turn out. Because
well, you and I are still waiting for samples from Leonista, from the South African version. There's been some holdup in delivery there. I'm not sure what that's all about, but I'm dying to taste what theirs is like. You can read all about Kiwi Spirits. It's Kiwi Spirits Distillery on their website. Just look it up. It's one of the only major distilleries. But Terry Knight is the owner. I want to thank again Team Kiwi Spirits Distillery for making this happen. Isabella, thank you so much for this opportunity, for allowing us here at Tequila Aficionado, myself and Felipe, to try this. Folks who are watching us in Australia, if you vacation in New Zealand, or you're watching us in Asia, go visit this guy. All right, go visit this. I'm telling you, you're not going to be sorry. You were talking to me on camera. I wonder what the whiskey's like and the gin, because they're all of these are being influenced by the water in the hand of the maker. I will tell you that Isabella did confess to me that they have put some of this in barrels, but they're not in their own whiskey barrels. I'm not sure. They're not sure what they're really going to do with it. They're going. I mean, this is in its infancy, folks.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the unadulterated, pure thing. First generation. Well, probably first generation for sale. They have won awards, and you can check out what their bottle looks like. And hey, if you got 1,000 New Zealand dollars, you might want to. I'll tell you what.
Yeah.
You could spend your money on worse. There are worse. There are worse that have beautiful bottles that are worth $1,000, and people are spending them left and right. The juice is for nothing. This one, I love the character on it. It's light. I like that. I like what you said.
Yeah.
It's ocean breeze. It's lake breeze. It's breeze. I like it.
And it's an incredibly small batch, isn't it? So it's about 300 that do it a year.
Yeah,
So-
what is it, 300 bottles? That's all he
Yeah.
wants to sell. Terry Knight doesn't want to even export. He may come to Australia, but he's not interested. What he wants to do is keep the spirit local. He's all about what New Zealand is all about, and that's cool. I'm good with that. That's okay. He's not going to be a threat to anybody. Not that he would be. I think it's a worthy export one day. Maybe in 2024, maybe after 2024, you're going to see this in the United States or in certain places of the UK. Have you even seen this in the UK?
Oh no,
No,
not at all.
So anyway, that's our take. I know we've gone long in the tooth, but there's a lot to be said about this, and it was important for us to dissect this. If you guys are watching us in Australia or New Zealand, and you've had it, tell us in the comments below. If you're watching us on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. If you're listening to us on the podcast and you've had this, if you're listening to us in all the other countries on iTunes and Spotify, let us know. Shoot us an email. Tell us what you think. But this is what we think. I think it's very worthy representation of the blue agave plant. But spend time with it. It's not something you're going to get right away, and there's reasons for that. Just back engineer the whole thing. You can read more about them in my book, Agave Spirits Around the World. You can read them in our magazine. If you're a Kindle subscriber, you get those magazines for free. But anyway, that's our take. I'm Mike Morales here in Southern California. That guy out there on this journey with me is
Felipe in Essex, England.
You have been watching and listening to Sipping Off the Cuff on Tequila Aficionado Media on all of our channels and networks. Please subscribe. Follow us on Instagram. Follow Felipe on Instagram. You can follow him on his personal Instagram. He's a musician slash cigar smoker and man of mystery. an extraordinary gentleman. Thank you, Felipe, for being here. Thank you for Tequila Spirits. For Kiwi and Kiwi Spirits Distillery for making that happen. And whatever you do, tomar sabiamente.
Sip wisely, my friends.